outside of Bud Walton Arena on a Friday night, the new consistent home of Arkansas Gymnastics. Last time they were here a couple of weeks ago, they upset, at the time, number 2 LSU in front of nearly 10,000 people, trying to repeat that feat against now number 2 Florida here in Fayetteville. As you see Jocelyn Robertson and her intro today in front of these fans that are so hyped up for this matchup. Friday Night Heights is presented by...
Scores back in their lineups again. I know she wants to put up a good meet tonight.
See last year 22 scores of 9-9 plus. Take a look at our meet format. Go in the Olympic order. 6 gymnasts per team competing in each event. Take the 5 best scores, drop the lowest. Keep you posted on that. And our score tower team with the highest cumulative score wins. Leanne Wong hoping to replicate that night she had in 2023 at Bud Walton Arena. Florida going on the road today. Again, coming off that tri-meet victory. Arkansas back home. They're losing the meet against Oklahoma a week ago.
I'm excited for this competition, Jason. You can feel the arena is electric. There's a lot of fresh faces from both the Florida and the Arkansas team in these lineups tonight. You're going to see some newer people in these roles, looking to see them step up and deliver.
Yeah. Talk about the fact that the potential, if you can get a 197 today on the Arkansas side, that'd be huge at this stage of the season. And Jenny Rowland, the Florida head coach, said adapt and conquer is their message of the week. On the road as Cammie Weaver will lead off on the vault for Arkansas.
Nice job, Yurchenko. Full solid form in the air. Good job leading that energy off for the Arkansas program. That vault only starts from a 9.95, not being able to be rewarded the full points of the 10.0. So you really want to find that landing, and Cammie did a great job there.
And Cammie's the only Razorback to hit 9.9 on vault this season. Flip it over to the bars in Florida. Anya Pilgrim will lead off.
Anya in her sophomore season already she looked seasoned last year as a freshman, and she just grows her gymnastics every single season. It's nice to see her back in this lineup. She struggled a little bit last week on this routine. Just a slight stumble on that dismount.
And still ended up sharing that bars title with Leanne.
Excuse me, actually, she got the stick last week on dismount specifically, and Florida excelled on that on bars. They stuck so many dismounts last week in their competition. I know that Anya wants to do the same thing again tonight. She's changed this routine as well a little bit from last year. She starts with a big pack salto down to the low bar. Really nice form in the air on that, and then goes back up to the high bar. This is called a Van Leeuwen. It's a Maloney with a half twist. Does that incredibly well. Just a little arm swing on that dismount. I couldn't really tell with her feet. Assistant coach Owen Fields was kind of blocking the view, so we didn't really see where her feet landed. I think she got the stick. They will deduct for that arm swing, though.
There's Jenny Rowland, 10th season as head coach at Florida. She said when Anya's being Anya, it's the coolest thing. Let's see what they end up giving Pilgrim in that leadoff spot on the bars. Gave Cammie Weaver a 9.850 when she led off on vault for Arkansas. Now Jaleel Lang, the East Palo Alto, California native, stepping up on the vault for the Razorbacks.
Another dynamic Yurchenko full. That is the best one I've seen Jaleel do so far this season. She absolutely nailed that landing, drove those heels into the ground. This is the energy that Arkansas wants to really step up and deliver in this competition tonight. And wow, I love how you see her legs glued in the air. That was such a clean stick. That's going to be a really big score for Arkansas.
Strong start here on the vault for Arkansas. Now Riley McCusker set to step up, one of the best bar workers that you'll find around the country for Florida. Like you said, Kennedy, it's a juiced up atmosphere right now, and still having to wait for this last score to come in. It was Anya Pilgrim's score that the judges are looking at. So, but you mentioned it could be a big score on vault for Julie Ling. They just gave her a 9-9.
That was deserved. That score will help build the rest of the Arkansas lineup. Riley McCusker up now for Florida. She is happy and healthy in these lineups. It's nice to see her on bars. One of the best bar swingers in the NCAA. Her form is impeccable. You're not going to see another toe point or a leg extension like that besides Riley, and she just does it so well.
As an elite, one of the best on bars in the entire world.
Small under rotation on that dismount. Her feet landed behind her. When you land those dismounts, you want them planted right underneath your body, everything stacked on top of each other. Just a little short coming in, but really nice effort throughout the rest of the routine.
And Grace Drexler slotting into this Arkansas vault lineup. That was one of the changes making her debut with Callista Gamio out. So quick change on the fly there for Arkansas.
Job, their first 10.0 vault. Yurchenko 1.5. She's a freshman. To step up and deliver, especially when you didn't know you were going to be in the lineup. They already had new faces in, and to switch at the last minute and deliver as a freshman is impressive. Nice work there. Really good pop off that table. Tried to spot that landing. That's a blind landing. You can't see where your feet are coming into the ground. You've got to feel where you're at in the air, and she did a good job.
Like you said, the mental challenge just to compartmentalize and step in that way. We've seen new faces pretty quickly prior to this meet be slotted into the lineup. Alyssa Arania will step in on bars here for Florida. They gave Grace Drexler a 9.850, followed up the 9.9 from Julie Ling.
Another one of those new faces that we've talked about is Alyssa. She has not been in on bars this entire season. This is our first time really seeing her, and Jenny had so many kind things to say about her and her gymnastics. Big double layout here. Had so much power coming out. You'll notice her legs were super straight when she landed. You want to plie and bend in your knees if you want to get that stick. That's the only way to absorb into the ground on that.
There's Jordan Weber. Again, this group a couple of weeks ago in this arena had their biggest win during her tenure as head coach against LSU. Jocelyn Robertson was a key part of that. First time we get to see the Olympian today following Grace Drexler's 9.875 on the vault. She was dealing with the flu last week. Still had a stellar meet against Oklahoma despite being limited.
This is big. Such nice pop off the table, has so much power, has that hop out, but that is such an easy vault for Jocelyn. In fact, talking to head coach Jordan Weaver, she said that's her timer for her elite skills, because she also does her elite skills along with her collegiate skills. This is her warm-up for that. Just a slight leg separation on the table, but you can just see how much power she has when she gets that pop through her shoulders on the block. And of course, Dad's happy about that one.
Yep, mom, dad, brother, grandpa, all here. She loves calling her dad after meets. Her siblings have fallen in love with college gymnastics as well. Told us earlier this week her sister's dream country to visit was France. Of course, her family was able to make the trip to Paris this past summer. Leanne Wong, who was in Paris with her as an alternate on Team USA, will step up fittingly here on the bars for Florida.
Leanne can score high here on this event. We've seen it numerous times against Arkansas specifically. Nice form throughout. Sometimes you'll see her legs separate slightly on that Van Leeuwen. I like to see her legs planted together. Nice improvement there. That was pretty good. The last two times she's competed against Arkansas on bars, she's gone a 10. That could be another one here. We've gotten stricter scoring this season. That will at least be a huge number for Florida. Nice job on her handstands, all the way vertical, pointing through her toes. You saw that twisting in the air. Legs had no separation there. But they did a little bit on the dismount, you have to understand as well, we have a different perspective and angle on that. Sometimes the judges can't tell if that leg separation really happened from the side.
Now to go to Essen Price on the vault for Arkansas.
Big 1.5. Kind of missed the block there. She was a little bit short. She did the same thing against Oklahoma. It's hard to find that rhythm about giving it too much power, but not enough. Trying to settle into that landing.
Friday Night Heights continues next as number 8 Kentucky takes on Oklahoma from the Lloyd Noble Center. It's coming up next, second meet of the night here on SEC Network. Selena Harris-Miranda getting set to step up on the bars. Notice the score tower on the right side of your screen. Again, that'll show the gymnast in the order of the rotation. That score that's slightly lighter in the gray is the lowest score that the team would currently want to drop. Mentioned to keep 5 out of the 6. So as we get deeper into this first rotation, keep in mind, though, that score is currently still being counted.
Selena's doing a great job here. They're putting up these numbers, really building off of each score. Good effort there. You could tell pirouetting. She was a little bit crooked, not absolutely on top of the bar. Way to save it and then get the stick to follow it up. Nice job on her handstands. You'll see they need that within that 10 degrees. With no tense off, and again, nice pop on her release move. You see how much amplitude she gets in the air. Selena does that really well.
Now Haley Klein set to anchor the vault. Lineup for Arkansas.
Haley struggled slightly on this. They've had her in and out of the lineup. It's nice to see her back. She does another 10.0 vault. That Yurchenko 1.5. Much improvement. You can see how much power she had off of the table. Really great distance away from the table as well, and just a small step forwards. Good improvement, though, from Haley on that.
And Jocelyn Robertson pointed Haley out as one of the leaders on this team. When she's clicking, really important in this lineup on the vault for Arkansas. So that was the final gymnast to go in the first rotation for the Razorbacks. We'll see if they end up giving Haley. Right now, the lowest score is the 9.750. That was the one they would like to currently drop from Dakota Essen Price. Lee Boy coming up, just 16 years of age. From Swisher, Iowa, the freshman who hasn't looked phased one bit. He said, oh, yeah, the gymnastics part's easy. The training part's easy.
You know, when the training and the gymnastics is easy, you're in a good spot. And Lee is doing such a good job in this freshman season, coming in so young and looking mature as she's competing, really looking seasoned out there. This is her first time in the bar lineup. Excited to see her routine.
See the judges still coming together on the last Selena Harris-Miranda score. A mandatory conference required if two of the judges' individual score outside of the ranges you see below. Don't want too much separation, essentially.
And that's another challenge, Jason, is when you're expected to go, you feel ready. So to kind of wait for your turn is hard. You can see Lee there just standing and kind of waiting. And that's another challenge that really comes with time. You learn that through competing in the years, that you have a routine that you do before the routine, and that's kind of fun to fall back on.
Debut in the bar lineup as well. Jenny Rowland said there's just a youthfulness about her that makes everyone smile.
Beautiful height on that packed salto. You'll see she got so much amplitude and time before she hit the bar. Super impressive. And then again, straight up on her handstands as well. Big full twisting double tuck. say that was a pretty good debut.
Trying to follow back-to-back 9-9s as well from Selena Harris, Miranda, and Leanne Wong. And the trust as well in a freshman Kennedy to go with the tail end of this lineup like that.
Jenny has so much trust and confidence in Lee, and you see right here why she attacks her skills. She's going full out for him. She's not hesitating, and she's nailing them. Nice form throughout spots. That landing coming in and then holds on to it.
We're still awaiting that last score for Lee Bui. Jocelyn Robertson at a 9.875 on vault. Part of a strong start for Arkansas. Lee Bui did get a 9.9 to close out that bars rotation for Florida. We're going to talk more about Jocelyn Robertson when we come back. Rotation. See Florida's lead after the first rotation.
Anya is such a strong starter for this Florida team on vault. This is the event that she had a little stumble coming out of it. She actually got the stick and then kind of took a weird step out of it. But she has nailed this 10.0 start value vault so many times. And just a small hop forwards. Good job getting this lineup going. That was such a clean vault, and they can just build off of that score.
2024 SEC all freshmen, just gives so much in the gym every day now in her sophomore year. Now here's Jocelyn Robertson coming up on the bars. Competing in the all-around today. Pilgrim, by the way, also competing in the all-around for Florida. So you got two all-arounders leading off in this second rotation.
Arkansas is doing a great job so far of really getting the energy going and then carrying it through. They just had their highest vault rotation. I know they want to build off of those scores to start these bars going, get these sticks on the dismount, what they focused on in practice. Beautiful start to the routine for Jocelyn. Just a slight leg separation coming down out of that hack salto. I like her cast handstands though. She's almost holding for a second on top of the bar. Judges like to see that extra effort there. Fought to get that dismount stick. That's something that head coach Jordan Weber was talking about. They try almost too hard for the stick. You could see the effort that she was putting in to try to get the stick. Nice handstand on top of the bar, totally vertical.
Family watching on. Dad, mom, brother, grandpa, all here. Now Ellie Lazari. Bigger day for her than anticipated with some of the lineup changes.
Beautiful job on that Yurchenko 1.5. It's nice to see Ellie back in the lineup. She's kind of been in and out of the vault lineup, but vault is somewhere she really thrives.
Just following up the 9.850 from Anya Pilgrim. So now it's time to huddle up, brought to you by Regions Bank. You see for Arkansas here, Kennedy, we talked about it. This is something they really worked heavily on in practice, trying to stick these landings on the bars.
Yeah, they're trying to find this balance, Jason, of where is perfection, where is right underneath. And it's challenging when you're in this environment with the crowd. It's different than when you do it in practice. It's so easy to nail those sticks. They want to get a stick train going. Once you can start a stick, it's easy for your teammates to follow it up, but you have to start it.
Sadie Smith was originally in this spot on bars. She made another change because she found out about 20 minutes before, I would say warm-ups were starting, that she was going to be in the lineup, but switch it once more now. Callie Sweeney steps into this 2 spot on bars for Arkansas.
These challenges are good for the athletes. It helps, especially in the regular season, prepare them for the postseason. And Callie Sweeney is definitely someone that can handle that pressure. She's used to this in this Arkansas lineup. I know she wants to get this stick and get this train going. And I think she just started it.
Does it help in some ways to not have a ton of time to think?
I do. Some athletes don't. They have super specific routines that they do ahead of time. Sometimes it's just kind of get up and go, and that's going to be your best one. And Callie showed that right there. I know head coach Jordan Weaver is excited about that. She wanted these bar sticks so bad. Hopefully they can get it going and just build off of what Callie did right there.
Now Lee Bowie coming up on vault. Saw her make her debut in the bars lineup.
So much height and distance off of the table. Just a slight under rotation. It's hard on those blind landings to really find your feet right underneath you. You can see how far away she gets from the table, though. Impressive to the judges. Just need a little more momentum to get that stick.
It's following a 9-8. Following the 9-9 from Ellie Lazari, who's a big score for Florida in that 2 spot on vault. They gave Callie Sweeney a 9-9 on bars for Arkansas. Katie Ewald set to follow that up here. Ewald, the transfer from Illinois, grad student, one of their biggest surprises of the season with how well she has made the transition to the SEC. Learned a brand new bar dismount, just came in and wanted to learn it.
Katie has brought so much experience and guidance to this Arkansas program, stepping up and mentoring the younger athletes. Beautiful Jaeger there. I liked the height and the distance she got. She really had to reach for it. Did a great job there. Trying to follow up Callie's stick. Another double layout here. Just a little too far with her feet in front. You could see that. Didn't have enough bend in those knees. Wanted it so bad trying to get that stick. Good height on this release. You see the distance away from the bar. Had to push all the way through her shoulders to make it back. Veteran move there. Nice job from Katie Ewald.
Saw assistant Chris Brooks getting fired up. There he is. Jordan Weaver says he brings our energy.
And a lot of technicality, especially on bars, coming from men's gymnastics. He has skills and training and knowledge that we just, quite frankly, don't have. So he brings that and really adds to their program.
There's Leanne Wong.
Spotted that. A small shuffle back. I'm not going to say it's a hop. She has been consistent on that vault. Huge amplitude in the air. I like how straight her elbows were on the table. Judges notice and deduct for that.
Next up, for the Razorbacks on bars, make some noise for
Priscilla Park getting set to follow what was a 9-8-2-5 for Katie Ewald on the bars for Arkansas. Again, Florida led after the first rotation.
Priscilla Park has really stepped up in this sophomore season for Arkansas. Huge release move there. They've got to be careful with her training. They monitor some back pain that she had prior to college, and the hardest event for her is bars, those tight inside those bar pike positions or challenging on your back. They've got to manage that. Doing a good job of moving through that this season with her. And the smallest shuffle back, you can tell that they're focusing on the sticks. It's almost if you focus too much, sometimes you don't get it.
Look at the release and dismount here.
Big amplitude, similar to Katie Ewald. She had to reach for the bar as well, something that assistant coach Chris Brooks is doing a good job of, is making sure their releases have huge height over the bar. They're really excelling there.
Danny Ferris coming up after a 9-9 from Leanne Wong on the vault here.
Watch this block, Jason. She gets so much height away from the table. Oh, short on that. Trying to go for that stick. You could tell she wanted it. Just that under rotation with the step backwards.
Again, the score that Florida would want to drop right now is the 9-7-7-5. We'll see what they end up giving Danny Ferris on that vault, following what was a 9-9 on the Arkansas side for bars. Callie Swaney, that 9-9 when she slotted in for Sadie Smith. Didn't expect that to happen. It ended up being the first time we've seen a Razorback hit 9-9 on bars this season. And now Maddie Jones, who I know you're a big fan of, thinking she could potentially improve even more this year. We've seen all the success in the past. Going to step up here in a big stage at the bottom part of this bars lineup for Arkansas.
Maddie has been in this role a lot in this back half of the lineup, consistently delivering. Wants to put up a big number here. They're doing a good job of getting those scores building. Broke that 9-9 already sooner than their competition against Oklahoma.
Former walk-on was told about earning her scholarship last season in a group meeting with the coaches, teared up, and she has really earned it. Some of the points of emphasis you're looking for here on this event, Kennedy, are what?
Yeah, Maddie did a good job right there. One of them is handstands. Another one of them is the releases and the amplitude. Are they up to the level, and is it showing flight? And then, of course, we'll come to the dismount. Did they drill that landing?
She really wanted to be more consistent on bars this year.
Putting that focus in, getting those handstands all the way up, getting all of her tenths. And drills the dismount. That's what head coach Jordan Weaver wanted to see from this bar team. And it's nice to see especially Maddie step up and deliver that stick. Maddie excels on her form, specifically on bars. Really good extension, clean line throughout, and then spots it and holds on to it. It's nice to see Maddie back.
We'll see what they end up giving her on that score. Back in business in the bars lineup. Selena Harris-Miranda anchoring the vault lineup right now in this final spot in rotation 2 for Florida.
She can get the stick here. So consistent on that. She nailed one in the warm-up. She's nailed countless over this season and previous seasons. Impressive work there from Selena Harris-Miranda. I like her form in the air. You can tell she spots that landing coming in. Puts those eyeballs on assistant coach Adrian Burdett and then holds on to that salute. Way to show it off.
Her transition from UCLA has been so smooth. Loves the pressure spot. Speaking of pressure, Maddie Walagora, the transfer from Alabama, following up the 9.925 from Maddie Jones, the highest score on bars so far for Arkansas. Let's see what Maddie Walagora has in store here.
Maddie can deliver big routines, a big set here for Arkansas. Last week, she fell on her cast. You're going to see her really go for her skills, try and hit those handstands all the way up. Stunning height on that release move, so much distance, smooth connection right on down to the low bar. Another handstand held, that's where she had that tip. You can see she went for it right there. I like to see that. And another bar stick. That's such an improvement for Arkansas. You see assistant coach Chris Brooks so hyped, as he should be. They should be proud of this bar rotation, really stepped up, got some of those sticks back in the lineup. They needed that confidence. Really nice height here. I'm impressed with their bar lineup between her, Maddie Jones, Priscilla Park, Katie Ewald. They're getting this amplitude off of the bars that other teams aren't really reaching. I'd like to see that from their gymnastics.
It's going to be a new season high on the bars for Arkansas. We'll await this score, but it's going to be a new season high on this event for the Razorbacks. There's a strong ending on vault for Florida. Selena Harris Miranda's 9.950. Back-to-back rotations where the tail end of the Florida lineup has finished strong. Did so on the bars. Now they do it on vault. They gave Maddie Jones a 9.925 on bars. This crowd getting amped up. They gave her a 9.95. So a great ending in the anchor spot for Arkansas from Maddie Walagora. We're going to talk the impact of black gymnasts on the sport when we come back. Rotations. See the lead there and a strong start on the vault and the bars for Florida. Selena Harris Miranda putting up the season high 9.950 to close out the vault lineup. The .200 lead after 2 rotations. And now into the 3rd rotation where Florida will be on the floor. Victoria Wynn will lead it off. Callista Gamio on the beam for Arkansas.
First off, for your Razorbacks, make some noise for Callista Gamio!
Here's Callista, the senior from Honolulu. 4th season, all with Arkansas.
Callista's been in this leadoff spot so many times, has nailed this routine countless times over the years for Arkansas. She's incredibly consistent. This routine is difficult. She opens with a challenging layout, step out to start her routine. You're going to see these acro series throughout on beam from both teams, a requirement. Really nice job. It actually looked like she was a little crooked on the first one. Way to navigate that back on top of the beam and keep it clean to the lunge. Callista just has such a calmness that the lineup then builds off of. I think it makes the Arkansas beam team a little bit more special. You can see she's always chill and relaxed when she gets up there. I know that her teammates feed off of that energy, and it's necessary for them.
And Jordan Weaver told us nothing phases her. And Kennedy vibing to the Corinne Bailey-Wright, too.
Sometimes, you know, people will pick a song on beam. I'm curious to know if Callista picked Corinne Bailey-Ray for her beam song this year. Nice job. That back foot on that first layout step out was turned out and those toes were off the beam. Takes a seasoned competitor to navigate, keep that on the beam, and show that it didn't have a wobble.
Now Victoria Wynn leading off the floor lineup for Florida.
Victoria is a beautiful dancer. Last year she had a really fun anime routine. The music inspired from anime. The routine this year is powerful and intense. Struggled a little bit on consistency in the tumbling passes this season. Looking to have a good away meet here on floor for her. Starts with an incredibly difficult front double twist to a Sassone. Nice effort there. She's got to get that connection. It's 1/10 in bonus. She needs it for her start value. Beautiful leaps, well over that 180 degrees, exactly what the judges need to see. Setting up for this last tumbling pass. This is where she had that mistake on Sunday, a little under rotation. No problems today. So clean, straight into her choreography. Nice to see that bounce back from Victoria. Very well done. Good improvement on this final tumbling run here. She landed short last week, had those feet right underneath her, bounced beautifully into that front layout. Nice clean form throughout. Great way to lead off the Florida team.
Kennedy switching back to the beam. Your points of emphasis.
Dance and acro skills. How clean and how effective are you getting all the way around on those leaps, connections? Are they smooth? Are there wobbles throughout? And of course, the artistry and the balance. How well are you staying up there?
I felt like such a novice asking you this question. I always do when I ask you questions, Kennedy, but before the meet, we just talked about the impact of your feet on the beam and being able to maintain that despite the fact that that hurts.
It does hurt. The higher you are, the less painful it is, but when they come down on those double leg skills, it's intense and it's a lot of pressure at the bottom of your foot. Great job on her acro series there, a little different from other competitors in the competition on her first one. She only puts down one hand, has to have a lot of strength in her shoulder. Little balance check, slight dip in that left shoulder. Nice job keeping it on top of the beam. Katie Ewald is not someone that we typically see in the beam lineup.
Following Gamio's 9.825 that led it off.
Difficult standing switch leap there. You've got to have a lot of power in those legs to get up, be able to separate them, and then hit a full split at the top. Ending with a difficult front 1.5 twist off the beam. She can see her feet coming down, but that's a lot to twist. Good effort. Nice start for Katie. We don't usually see her in the beam lineup. A little wobbles throughout, but good job staying on top. You'll see that dip in the shoulder right here. Great effort to keep it on top of the beam, though. Those tints matter.
There's a 9.875 that led off on the floor with Victoria Wynn for Florida. And now Anya Pilgrim set to step up here on the floor for the Gators.
Opens with this double leg up turn here. She's been challenging herself to step right in front on that. They switched it. It was later in her routine. They just want to get it out of the way, start with it clean. Great opening tumbling run there. There's a lot of twisting in that 1.5 to double full. You'll notice the effort she's putting in to make sure those feet are shown all the way around on these 2-pass routines. You've got to do an excellent job on your leaps. The judges are taking those deductions this year. Last pass here, another combination pass for Anya, front through to double. A little short, you could tell even coming out of her back handspring, her feet were too far behind her. Nice job pulling that around and saving it. Difficult 1.5 twist. It's hard to keep your legs glued together on those twisting elements. You're going around incredibly fast.
Kennedy, to pull it back, we talked about how important of a meet this is for both teams on the Arkansas side. They have one score of 197 or better this season. You worked with our friend Bart last week, who likes to mention the benchmarks you would hit, especially going 49 plus per rotation. And in order to do that, you have to have a 9.8 plus average on your counting scores. Again, counting 5 out of the 6 scores, and we'll keep you posted on that in our score tower on the right side of your screen there as the judges are coming together. And right now, both teams consistently doing that to hit the 49 plus average in each rotation. If you're Arkansas, you'd love to get a 197 today as a team score, coming off the Oklahoma meet last week when they were dealing with illness, had a flu bug running throughout the course of the team. For the most part, back healthy this week. Lineup changes, though, and fresh faces on both sides.
It would be nice to see Arkansas really get this bounce back. They're doing a great job of starting off the energy and then building it up, finishing with those big 9-9s at the end. I know they want the same repetition of bars and ball on beam as well.
So the judges did come up with a score of 9.675 for Katie Ewald. So see that updated there. That was what we were waiting on. Priscilla Park waiting patiently to go up on the beam next for Arkansas.
Beam is probably the hardest event to stop and wait. There's already so many nerves on that 4-inch wide beam. A difficult candle mount for Priscilla. Another event she really shines on is beam. Precise and confident when she's up there. Opening with her acro series here. Now she's capable of 3 elements in a row. She's changed this to see her to just a back handspring, layout, step out. Another difficult leap series you're going to see is the switch leap, switch leap. You've got to be high enough and straight enough on the first one to hit the amplitude and split on the second one. Nice job there from her. One and a half dismount, that blind landing again. Slightly short, really nice routine on top of the beam. I know she wanted to get that stick. Went a little too hard for it, had that under rotation. Otherwise, clean routine from Priscilla. Beautiful leap right there. I like how the second one was higher and bigger than the first one. That's what you want to see on these leap combinations.
Now, Taylor Clark, I know you're really excited for her future. We're going to get to watch her on floor here.
I'm excited to see this routine in person, Jason. She has elevated each meet, her dance specifically, going bigger every single time. I think that if you go bigger on your dance, it makes it easier. Opens with a huge double layout here. She's been trying to find that landing. Well done. That might be the best one she's done this season. Nice and inbounds, really controlled. Good to see from Taylor there. It's nice to see Taylor feeling comfortable out there in her dance. It takes some practices and some competition to really feel that, especially at an away meet. The teams opposing you, they're not really cheering for you. So to really go big on your dance still is challenging. tumbling run here. Difficult front through to double tuck, similar to Anya's. Really well done. I like the control she had out of that, going straight to the lunge. One of the best routines Taylor's done so far this season on floor.
The chop to put the punctuation point on it.
This opening pass was such an improvement. Last week she had a little stumble right here. Huge height in the air on that. And again, front through to double tuck, you're gonna see big amplitude and right back to the lunge.
They gave Pilgrim before a 9.750. Maddie Walagora, this is now her debut as a Razorback on beat.
Really nice job there. Sometimes the most difficult part of the routine is the full turn, a requirement from every single routine. All the skills are so hard, and then you think the full turn is going to be easy, and then it's even more challenging. Oh, an unfortunate fall from Maddie. Actually, I could see her off a little bit in that back handspring. I was gonna say, if she kept that on the beam, that's incredibly impressive. I could see her crooked. It's important, though, that she finishes this routine well. You never know what's going to happen in the rest of your lineup. You might need to use the score. I know they don't want to, but it's important that you finish just as clean as you started.
Now, Kennedy, you look at the tail end of that rotational lead, big scores from Cammie Weaver and Jocelyn Robertson.
And if there's two people that can step up and deliver those scores, it's Cammie and Jocelyn in that back end of the lineup. Good effort on that dismount. She tried so hard off on that side a little bit and then tried to counterbalance it, and unfortunately just had too much of a dip in that right shoulder. Couldn't save it on top of the beam.
Danny Ferris coming up on the floor now for Florida.
Florida really steps up in this back end of the lineup. You're going to see these E passes starting to come out, starting with Taylor Clark with that big double layout. Danny can also do a double layout. She alternates between that and a full in. Tonight she's doing the full in. This is going to be big. Full twisting double tuck. Clean landing out of that. I like her form in the air. Those legs are not only tucked, but her feet are pointed. Nice effort on those leaps. Just as important to get to that 180-degree split as it is to get your feet all the way around. Last pass here, around a 1.5 front layout, that blind landing coming out. Great job spotting out of that. I like the way she absorbed that. Great work there from Danny on the floor.
Was following up a 9.925 from Taylor Clark. And Danny Ferris wasn't in the floor lineup last week, had been dealing with an illness. They didn't want to push it too much, but back in this week.
And this was huge. You can see those feet pointed throughout, just a slight leg separation on the way down, anticipating that landing. And super clean 1.5 front layout. I really like the way she did that one.
still don't have a score yet for Maddie Walagora on beam. Now it is in the 9175, so of course they're going to want to drop that after the fall. And now, like we said, pressure is on here coming after a fall.
If there's anyone that can step up and deliver in this pressure spot, it's Cammie Weaver. She's been here before. She's delivered in the past. She can do it again tonight. Starting with that acro series. Beautifully done. I love the confidence that Cammie has when she's on top of the beam. Calm, collected. You can tell that she feels good about her gymnastics, as she should. Really great save there. Again, they do not want to count another fall. I liked that. Sometimes on that ring jump, she doesn't release her head fully back. I liked that one. It looked like she was really looking at the ceiling. That is exactly what Arkansas needed. Way to step up for Cammie Weaver. Great routine and awesome stick at the end of that.
Big smile for Cammie. We'll see what they end up giving her on that score. Our Tuesday hoops doubleheader on the SEC Network and the ESPN app features #1 Auburn against Vandy at 7 Eastern, followed by Georgia and #10 Texas A&M. Fun night in the SEC in men's hoops coming up on Tuesday. This should be a fun routine. Leanne Wong, as you're getting toward the tail end of this floor lineup for Florida.
Leanne has so many skills that she can do. She's going to open with this opening double layout. She's one of the only gymnasts in NCAA that I've seen do so many different E-level passes. She can also do a triple twist, a double Arabian. She's competed those both incredibly well. Going with the double layout this year. Just absorb on this landing. Great job, perfection from Leanne. Had a little bit of controversy on the one that she did this Sunday. There was a leg up on that lunge. Not today, though. Such a clean stick coming out. Nice to see Leanne do that. Another difficult pass for Leanne, a whip half. That's a back handspring with no hands to a front full. Done so well. I don't know, we didn't see the 10 on bars. Maybe we'll see it on floor.
Well, she has a history of it here.
Great routine from Leanne. I think that's the best routine she's done this season, one of the best in her career. Nice to see her really build that up. That should be a good confidence booster for her. This was excellent. Such a difficult pass to keep your feet together on. There's so much intensity coming down in that landing. And again, really great control coming out of that whip half.
And 4 for 8 10s have come against Arkansas. There's 10 potential here as well. Jocelyn Robertson coming up to anchor the beam.
Jocelyn is a beautiful beam worker. She's aggressive and precise. Like on that pike jump right there, that's so difficult. You've got to have so much core strength to get those legs perpendicular to the beam.
Kennedy, can we give Jocelyn a shout out for buying the entire team iced vanilla lattes from her favorite coffee shop here in Fayetteville?
Yeah, yeah, we can give her that because that's just another testament to the person that Jocelyn is. She's an amazing teammate, going outside of what she needs to do, buying coffee for her friends, but then also hitting for her friends. Someone you want to see on your team and in your lineup.
She said you got to go to Dodo to get that vanilla iced latte. If you want to sit down, though, Meteor is the place to be in Fayetteville.
I love the inside scoop. Could she give us an inside scoop on how she nails that series over the top of the beam every single time? So difficult, she doesn't even put her hands down. I'm seeing minimal deduction in this routine. Incredibly clean, one of the best she's ever done. Just the dismount. Fought to get that stick, really dug those toes into the ground, but again, one of the best routines that Jocelyn's done this year.
The entire arena was riding along the beam with her.
Beautifully done. Her beam work is impressive, to say the least. And of course, he would be excited about that. He should be. I'm excited about that.
Her dad hyped up, by the way, on the floor side for Florida. They gave Leanne Wong a 9.925. Now here's Selena Harris-Miranda anchoring the floor lineup.
Front through to double tuck here for Selena. She is capable of doing a big double layout. She switched that pass this year. Feels like she has more control coming out of that. Selena is such a fun performer to watch, really draws your eyes in, gets the crowd involved. You can tell she's having a good time out there. You're going to notice Selena is in the back half of these lineups throughout Florida's competition. Head coach Jenny Rowland said she thrives there. She likes that pressure. Great job on that last pass straight into the choreography. I like the height that she got on that stag jump afterwards.
Show you first pass, last pass here for Selena Harris-Miranda.
This concludes our third round.
Nice form throughout. Her legs are glued together in the air. Had a lot of power out of that. Fought to keep it on that front leg in the lunge. An excellent job through to the ending of that routine.
This score could potentially give them a new season high. Arkansas won't be able to match their season high on the beam, but Jocelyn Robertson did get a 9.9 to wrap up that third rotation for the Razorbacks. But another good close to a rotation for Florida. We'll again see what they give Selena Harris-Miranda. Florida leading the meet in the cumulative team score right now. The score is in 9-9. Been a big year for the sport of gymnastics. Been a big year for women's sports in general. We're celebrating Girls and Women in Sports Day when we come back here to Fayetteville. Their floor party here in Fayetteville. See Florida leading after the third rotation, heading into this fourth rotation. And on the Arkansas side, we talked about how important potentially getting a 197 would be. They would need a 49.275 to hit 197. They're trying to build momentum here, whether you win or lose the meet. And on the Florida side of things, if you're looking at a potential 198, you would need a 49.625 here in this rotation. So which team can close it out here on the highest note? It'll be Skylar Drazer beginning things on the beam for Florida.
This could be a great last rotation for both teams. Both of their best events, Florida being beam and Arkansas being floor, makes this exciting. They could both put up big numbers here. Great job from Skylar there on her opening acro series. She is consistent in this starter role for Florida. She was in this role a lot last year in her freshman season. Slight stumble there. Her legs were a little too straight when she came into that beam. We've spoken about it earlier. You really want to be bent in your knees to get these landings. kind of rushed it a little bit.
Both teams ending on events that they've been really strong on throughout the season.
Fought to get that stick though on that dismount. It's important that they hold on to all of these tenths. They want a big road score.
There's the Arkansas hype man, Corey Tomlinson. We got to get a pic with him before the meet today.
Corey does a great job of elevating the energy in this arena to get it going for the Arkansas program. And their floor team is pretty special.
Callista Gamio will lead it off.
First pass, one of the highest I've ever seen her do. She gets so much amplitude off of the floor. Similar to what we saw from Anya Pilgrim. She does this 1.5 to double twist. Another difficult pass, well done. Having fun with her teammates on the side. I love hearing the arena know this part as well. I always have to hype Callista up because she does 3 passes in college. Now there are a lot of 2-pass routines that you're going to see sprinkled throughout the NCAA. I love a challenge of 3 passes. It shows off the endurance and the strength that the athletes have to be able to perform a 3rd tumbling run. Another double flipping pass, this time in a tucked position. Oh, anticipated that landing, came in a little too straight in the legs. Wanted to get that stick, you could tell.
Kennedy, you mentioned the 3rd pass, the pressure to go with that in the leadoff spot as well. How much does that kind of weigh on the mind?
It does weigh on the mind a little bit, and I think that that's one of the reasons they picked Callista to be the leadoff. She opens with such a difficult routine and usually is really consistent on it, so she does a good job of getting that momentum and ball rolling for the rest of the lineup.
On the Florida side for Beam, they gave Drazier a 9-8, so now Ellie Lazari set to step up here for the Gators.
It's nice to see Ellie breaking into this Beam lineup. It's hard to get into this Beam lineup. They're ranked #1 in the country on Beam for a reason. Ellie's going to open with a difficult triple series here. Oh, and actually that's a change. She used to do 3 acro elements in a row. She switched that to the one-handed back handspring through to the layout step out. That is a challenging series to do. Had that slip off the side. Great job getting back on the beam and finishing. It's hard to bounce back after a tough fall. It's not easy on your body. You feel it when you hit that beam. It's not a forgiving surface. Similar to Maddie Walagora, she wants to finish this up as clean as possible. You never know when you're going to need that score. You never want to count a fall, but if you have to use it, you want the rest of the routine to be incredibly solid. Good effort from the rest of the routine. It's difficult to get back up after a fall, especially after a crash when you kind of hit the beam. Good job closing out that routine from Ellie. And her front foot was just, I mean, it really wasn't on the beam. You could see those toes were turned in a little bit. You've got to have your foot straight or turned out if you want to stay on the beam.
Each team with a fall today on beam. Now following up the 9.825 from Callista Gamio. Haley Klein will step up on the floor here for Arkansas.
Haley has a fun routine. Very dynamic when she tumbles as well. You're going to see a lot of amplitude from her passes. Almost with this difficult front through to double tuck. One of the best she's ever done. I like that stick. It was so clean coming out of it. You'll hear that clapping in the back. It's nice when you're an athlete to hear the crowd getting involved. It kind of pumps you up, makes it easier for you to carry that energy and momentum throughout the rest of your routine. Another solid pass from Haley. I'm impressed with this work right here. She wasn't originally in the floor lineup. Another kind of last-minute switch that Arkansas has made, and she delivered incredibly well.
Now, we weren't sure if we would see her. She was TBD, had been out sick, really steady on the floor this season, and steady again today.
Really nice to see. Coming back from an illness, the most challenging event is floor. You've got to have a lot of endurance and strength there. Great to see Haley bouncing back.
Following a 9.825 from Callista Gamio. Let's see what they end up giving Haley. Don't forget, this is just the first of two on SEC Network. Jordan Bowers and Oklahoma getting warmed up. Faith Torres, speaking of beam, 2024 NCAA beam co-champ. Number 8 Kentucky and number 1 Oklahoma. Barton Trinity standing by to call that one. Meanwhile, Anya Pilgrim waiting the score from Ellie Lazare. You see the current all-around scores at the moment. Anya, one of 3 Gators in the all-arounds.
Anya's such a chill competitor, so poised and relaxed. I always see the coolest photos of her just hanging out, not looking stressed at all. That's the energy that you want following a fall, and it takes someone seasoned in their second year like Anya to keep that on the beam. You saw that dip in the shoulder. Her job right now is to stay on the beam. Get that routine on top so the rest of the lineup can build and like really feel confident starting fresh from Ellie's fall.
Selena Harris Miranda and Leanne Wong, by the way, currently tied for that lead in the all-around. As Kennedy mentioned, that 9.225 from Lazare is the score you'd want to drop.
Good effort to get that stick on the dismount. Florida needed that routine. Nice work there from Anya, getting it back on track for the rest of the lineup. Had this balance check right here. You can see her foot was actually a little bit on the side. Great job correcting it back on top of the beam with her shoulders.
Now Maddie Jones coming up here on the floor for Arkansas.
Maddie has some difficult passes as well. Opens with a front double twist. Great job. That's an E-level tumbling pass in gymnastics. You get a letter ranking on your skills. The deeper in the alphabet you get, the harder the skill is. When you're getting to those D's and those E's, you're really doing difficult gymnastics. Well done from Maddie right there. done. I love how she danced right into her choreo, but it was controlled. You can tell that she had precision coming out of it. Another hype moment. She does 3 passes in this routine, has great endurance throughout. They focus a lot on their strength and conditioning. Assistant coach Chris Brooks really elevating them in that area. Focus on that gymnastics type conditioning. A lot of power there. Nice job keeping it on that front foot. Had so much momentum, fought to keep it in the lunge. This E-level pass is challenging. You've got to feel where you're out in the air. Another thing that Maddie does super well is keeping those legs side by side.
And Arkansas needs a 49.275 in this rotation to hit a 197 team score. They've done that once this season. That was in this building a couple of weeks ago against LSU. Victoria win now coming up on the beam for Florida.
A beautiful beam worker, had a little stumble in that choreography. She takes the challenge of really doing expressive dance on the beam. A difficult, a nodi, that's a back handspring, but the half twist through to her back handspring. Just slightly off in the landing there. I liked that one though. You can see how smooth her connection is. Judges need to see that arm swing continuous throughout the series to keep it at value.
She tied for highest score on beam against Arkansas last season.
Great job. You'll notice too from our angle, you could see that dip in the right shoulder. Again, the judges are from the side. They might not necessarily see the same things that we do. In that 5th-year veteran spot, she knows to keep it on top of the beam. Great correction there. And a 1.5 twist, that blind landing to the stick. Great job for Victoria.
See what they give her, trying to follow up Anya Pilgrim's score of 9.6275.
Florida does that skill, the Anodi, incredibly well. We've done that throughout our beam lineups for a long time. And again, great dismount. Really big attention to get that stick. Nice job from Victoria there.
Now Maddie Walagora trying to follow up Maddie Jones's 9.875 on the floor here.
We haven't seen Maddie as much in this floor lineup spot. Excited to see her gymnastics tonight. Similar to Maddie Jones, she opens with a difficult front double twist. Big height and amplitude in the air. That is so hard. She does a front layout into it. She's got to be powerful enough in the first skill to get that flight and distance on the second one. Really great job on her leaps. They have put so much attention on their leaps. They take their leaps as seriously as they do their tumbling. I like that about head coach Jordan Weaver. You can see the crowd in the back clapping her up for that last pass here. So well done. Really great bounce back from beam for Maddie, and great job in this floor lineup role as well.
A transfer from Alabama showing out there. We mentioned Arkansas hoping to hit that 197 mark. They would need 2 out of those 3 final scores to be 9.875s or better to hit 197. So we'll see if they can get it, good start there. See what they end up giving Maddie. The attendance tonight here at Butta Walton Arena, 7,341. Great crowd, great atmosphere again. here in Fayetteville. Super fun calling this meet. Jason Ross Jr. alongside Kennedy Baker. First of our doubleheader here on SEC Network. See what Leanne Wong has done so far today. Last time we checked in on the all-arounds, she and Selena Harris-Miranda were tied in that lead. One of 2 of 3 all-arounders for Florida today. Anya Pilgrim, the other, standing next to her head coach Jenny Rowland there.
And we kind of talked about this earlier, Jason, about Leanne finding her rhythm. I think she's found it at this meet. You're seeing those big numbers there. That is the competitor that we know in Leanne. Closing it out on this beam routine. She can put up another big score here. This is the event that she's kind of struggled with the most. You'll notice there's a change in her mount. She used to open with a switch leap on top of the beam. Couldn't really find it on top throughout the beginning of the season. She switched it around, having much better results there with that switch.
By the way, over on the floor, they just dropped in that now highest score so far for Arkansas of 9.925 for Maddie Wallagora. So big for Arkansas there. Currently still awaiting the Victoria win score that preceded this pending beam routine for Leanne Wong, and now it's in 9.750. So here we go with Leanne.
Leanne is a beautiful beam worker. You're going to see a lot of extension on her dance and acro elements. Nice save there. She needs that connection, though. If you see the scores a little bit lower and a great routine, it's because those judges are taking deductions for the missed connections or slightly slow connections. We'll see what they decide to do with that. There was that dip in that shoulder. Wrapping it up with this new dismount for her. Gainer full off the end of the beam, just a small shuffle to the front. And this is going to impact her score the most. You'll see that front aerial. She dipped in the shoulder. Those elbows are a little bent. The judges need to see a smooth, continuous arm swing, or they're going to take 1 to 3 tenths in deduction there.
Now Jocelyn Robertson coming up on the floor following the 9.925 from Maddie Wallagora.
Jocelyn has such a fun routine and then backs it up with huge tumbling, opening with his double layout. That was gigantic. That's the biggest one I've ever seen her do in college. I like to see her do that in front of this home crowd. Another area I want to pay attention to in Jocelyn's routine is her leaps. We've talked about the attention to detail that head coach Jordan Weaver has put on their leaps. Their leaps need to say, wow. She missed that last week. Great job and better effort this week. I love the flight and the height that she gets in the air. They're some of the best leaps that are done in the country. And challenging front layout, step out through to double tuck, anticipated that landing. She was coming in hot. I know she wanted to get that stick. Legs were a little too straight, didn't really get it, but very well done throughout the rest of the routine. Great job on that opening tumbling pass.
I know you feel like Jocelyn and Frankie Price, to follow her, both have the best leaps in the country. But we're going to look at that here in this replay, and it's a heck of a tandem to cap off this lineup.
For sure. Look at that height on that double layout, probably or one of the highest in the country. And again, following it up with huge arch leaps. I love that you can see those feet clearly all the way around. You'll see she tried to spot and get this. She was able to dig her toes in and get the stick last week against Oklahoma. Just anticipated it a little too early today.
She told us it's like a script, being able to be coached by Jordan Weber, the gymnast she grew up loving, watching her routines constantly. Told us if she could go back and talk to that little girl who had the dream, she would tell her, I'm so proud of you for all the hard work that you've done to get here. Been training 34 hours a week the last 2 years. Mentioned dad, mom, brother, grandpa here today.
And that's such a balance, Jason. Jocelyn does an incredibly good job of balancing elite gymnastics with college gymnastics. They're different skills. There's different intention. She still has national team obligations. Every month she's got to do what's called a verification, where you show off your skills on each event. She's got to zoom into it.
There is a judges conference right now taking place on beam. We're still awaiting the Leanne Wong score before Selena Harris-Miranda can go. So Selena waiting right now with a smile on her face, chatting it up with her head coach, Jenny Rowland.
We brushed on it. They're debating that front aerial through the split jump that Leanne did, if it changes her start value or not. But there's also a reason that Selena is in this 6th spot. She feels comfortable here. Jenny knows that she's going to get a hit out of her.
See the accolades at UCLA. Entered the transfer portal. They quickly had email exchanges between the coaching staff, then took a visit to Gainesville. Loved everything about it. Was a perfect fit for both sides, and her transition has been super seamless, and now she can step up onto the beam.
Opens with a difficult triple series here. Back handspring, layout, back handspring. Has to be straight on all 3 elements to keep it on top of the beam. Oh, and an unfortunate and uncharacteristic fall for Selena. I actually saw her struggle with that in the touch a little bit. She was off to the other side, so I know she overcorrected it in the competition and unfortunately had that fall. Another note that Selena is challenged with this season is competition in the SEC. She's coming from UCLA. We spoke about it with head coach Jenny Rowland. It's a different pressure here. It is. It's more intense competition. It's some of the reason why gymnasts pick an SEC school is that added challenge of the big crowds, but it's the big crowds getting used to being adjusted to that for Selena as well. Fought for that dismount. Every 10th matters. I like to see the fight throughout the rest of her routine. They're gonna have to count a fall, either hers or Ellie's, so every single 10th matters. And you could just see that back foot was so crooked. She really tried to save it. That's not typical from Selena. Hopefully she can bounce back at the next one.
Like you said, Florida gonna have to count a fall there, so stepping up, Frankie Price in a big anchor roll on the floor after a 9.875 for Jocelyn Robertson. Talk about the leaps. They're big here again.
This
with Frankie's
routine is awesome, Jason. Powerful opening double layout here. So much height and momentum. Had that shuffle out of it. This routine is so fun, though. The height on her leaps, some of the highest in the country. One of my favorite things that Frankie Price, along with her teammate Leah Smith, do is they put up the fist in their routine. You're going to see Leah do it on the side with her when she closes it out. Beautiful last tumbling pass here, so clean. And ending with that fist of solidarity. We love to see it. Such a great performance from Frankie, and she has just elevated her competition level every single year. Beautiful height on this double layout. I love her form throughout. Just had so much juice. Had that small shuffle to the back. These leaps are so impressive. I cannot say that enough. She's reaching height that nobody else is doing in the NCAA. And again, clean to close it out on that front layout front full.
So a couple of weeks ago, Arkansas beat number 2 LSU in this building. They didn't know, as Jocelyn Robertson told us, until the final floor routine, it came down to that. It's coming down to it again today. Still awaiting the Selena Harris-Miranda score. But that second fall on Bean for Florida could end up being huge here as we await the final scores and a strong finish on the floor. You mentioned perhaps two of the best passes in the country in Robertson and Frankie Price. They just gave Frankie Price a 9.925. The win over LSU was Arkansas's highest ranked victory since beating, at the time, #1 Florida in 2011. Kind of full circle coming back here as the final scores do come in, and Arkansas wins the meet.
So nice to see. I know that they're going to feel so good after this competition. They built starting on vault throughout the rest of the meet. Get that win. They deserved it.
In comeback fashion, their first win versus Florida since that win over, at the time, #1 ranked Florida in 2011. So Arkansas likes going up against the #2 team in the country this year. Barely, that's their thing here at Bud Walton Arena. They knocked off LSU a couple of weeks ago. They do it again here against Florida today. A big finish on the floor. Their best event comes through at home in front of 7,000 plus. What a night.
It's such a big confidence booster for Arkansas. They needed this competition. So exciting to see them really find that groove and hopefully build off of this meet.
Well, Kennedy, we knew we were going to have a fun meet, and they're going to swag surf to the finish line here. Arkansas takes the meet over #2 Florida in come from behind upset fashion today. On the other side of the break, we'll send you to Oklahoma for our next meet coming up on SEC Network. For our entire crew, Kennedy Baker, I'm Jason Ross Jr. saying so long from Fayetteville.